care about money. I don't care about that. The thing is that I'm able to create something with my sister.
It's my pleasure to be here. And let's start off by introducing yourself.
Go first.
You already got starting off bad.
No, we know. I always.
You gotta go left. You gotta follow.
Oh, you gotta go from older to youngest, bro. So my name is Jeezy, and I'm one of the co-owners of La Bahia.
My name is Giselle. I'm part of La Bahia family.
She's a park owner as well, too.
So you guys are family then, right?
It's family owned, yeah. Family owned, yeah.
And how did the idea of starting a family business even come to mind?
With saying it has a lot to do with my dad. You know, like I always say this story that, you know, growing up, we would go to, in Salinas, on Alisal, it's a taqueria called La Chavinda. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we would go there all the time growing up. So it was like always my dad's like American dream to have his own business, you know, and he just happened to, since, you know, he came here from Mexico, he would always work in the restaurant industry. So that's just kind of how he ended up there. And, you know, he's like, you know, we would go to La Taqueria Chavinda, which was also a family-owned business. You know, you had the parents still working at that time, the kids are, you know, son cooking, daughter cashier, you even got the little ones kind of cleaning tables. Literally same story as us. But my dad back then, I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was like 8 maybe. We would always go, and I have that memory in my head. Like, he's like, you know, that's gonna be us. You know, we're gonna do that in the future. You know, I'm not really taking them too serious, because I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, like whatever. But he definitely manifested that, and you know, then in 2015, my brother and him kind of like they started it, kind of came. I can kind of say exactly how the situation came, but that's kind of where it originated from.
Okay, from like getting
My dad, you know, yeah,
experience.
Yeah, my dad just
Like
kind of had that.
he always planted that in our head. So like even though I was a barber before, even though I had my career as a barber, it was still in my head that before I open my barber shop, I'm gonna open a restaurant with my dad. And a lot of like, if people know, if I used to cut your hair back then, then you know that I would say everybody like, oh, when you gonna open your shop? I'm like, nah, I'm opening a restaurant with my dad. So I always said that. I always manifested that, and we made it happen. You know?
So basically, to the people that you cut up,
Yeah.
like you would speak about that, like this is what I have in mind.
Open the shop. I'm opening a restaurant. Like, when you gonna open your shop? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm gonna open a restaurant first.
Restaurant. So it was always like in the back of your head.
It
Like,
was always in the back of my head, bro.
and then so like, when was that moment when you, let's say you guys sat down with your dad and hey dad, like this is what we plan to do, like let's start a restaurant, like that moment when you guys said let's make it happen, and from an idea to like let's make it happen.
Honestly, bro, like I'm gonna be real. I'd always tell my dad, like, let's open a restaurant, and he would always tell me, like, bro, we're not business people. Like, bro, you may not be business, motherfucker. I'm a business person, you know. I would always plan it, and I feel like my dad was just like, well, fuck it, you know. If this was down, then why not?
Now I'm down to
Yeah. And so at the time, I was focusing on my barber career, and actually it came from my dad. My dad was like, you know what? Let's go. I was like, where are we going? Like, we're gonna go look at a restaurant. I was like, what the fuck? You know, I tripped out, and we went to Selena, and we wanted to look at a location that they were looking, and that's when that idea came. You know, like, all right, you know.
It got real at that point.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is. I was about to say, fool, you ain't a business person, fool. Like, what you doing? Nah. But that's when it really happened, and then once I seen him locked in, that's when I started looking for a location, and that's on this location.
and then you guys found this place.
Yeah,
So then approximately about how many years have you guys been here, like started this business?
Oh, and here we've been in 11 years.
11
years in this place, yeah. 11 years. For sure.
That's so it's 2015.
2015.
And at that age, at that year, how old were you guys?
Shit. We were 21.
I was 15.
Oh,
I was
wow.
still in high school, yeah.
And then, I mean, you were already working in like
Yeah, this was so, you know, my dad, so I was still in high school, and, you know, my dad, he just came and he was like, you know, I remember going to, you know, we even had a location in Marina that we're looking at. There was like 3, Salinas, Marina, and this one in Monterey.
Okay.
And, you know, we went to go look at all of them, and then, you know, it kind of just happened, and I just remember this was my first job ever. Like I was like a freshman in high school, so my dad was like, "Oh, you're gonna come to work." I'm like, "Okay." He didn't really even ask me. He just told me like, "You're gonna come to work." You know? Yeah, that's kind of how I was. And I mean, I wasn't opposed to it, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool, whatever." And that's kind of how, you know, I started. I was like, you know, cleaning tables, serving. So I started working up in the front, and then yeah. So I remember I was really young at that time. So now I'm 27, so I'm approaching 30 years of age, and we are approaching like 15 years in business almost, you know?
Because you're 15.
We're on year 11, so I'm like, damn, it was half my life, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of grew up in the business.
So has that been like your first and only job? Like,
Yeah, this is like pretty much my only job.
that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
You got introduced to that working experience with your family, you know?
Yeah,
in your
exactly.
own place.
Yeah, for sure. So
And then like the Bahia was like you guys said that you guys had 3 locations to choose from, right?
Yeah.
Did the locations come with the name, or did you guys choose the name?
The name came when we found the location. And honestly, it came because my dad was coming up with some weird names. Not weird, I'm not gonna say weird, weird. He came out with some crazy names like trying to call it like socorritos and like names like that. And me, back in my head, I always, look, bro, one thing about me, I always knew about, when I used to cut hair, I used to be GC cuts. So it's also like, you also gotta start knowing about brands, right? So I always thought about like, you cannot market socorritos, so you know what I mean? So I started, you know what I mean? Like, so I started thinking about like, what's something cool that we could like name it, bro? And then I started looking and started thinking, and I was like, shit, well, Monterey Bay in Spanish, La Bahia. I was like, it makes sense, La Bahia, and then you're not locked in just one thing. La Bahia is all, how big is the bay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what.
So it's like when people try to choose like a niche, you know, and they tell you like you are the niche, and then you just do different things.
Yeah.
Same with here, you know, it's La Bahia, since it's in a place where there's a lot of things, you guys can like serve different plates, you know.
Exactly.
So then from the name, when it came like what you guys wanted to serve.
Oh, bro. Honestly, bro. When we first opened up, we didn't know nothing about the restaurant. Me, especially, I didn't know nothing. I couldn't cut. I couldn't even use a knife. Only thing that I was really like knew how to do was drinks and stuff like enchilada, stuff like that. So my dad and my uncle are the ones that created the menu. So like they were like, we had everything on the menu: cheeseburgers, pasta. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You know me like shit. I was like, okay. So they are the ones that created the menu. And then our menu's been changing ever since. Like we always change our menus up, you know what I mean? So.
But I feel like that's also like the good part, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta switch it up so people, like now they don't only serve this, but they have this option.
Yeah. I mean, I guess more so what you can say is like we've served it all. You know, we really can say we served it all because you know my dad, he used to work at it was like a Tex-Mex type of restaurant, so that's what he was used to. You know, and like when he said we used to like what we serve today to what we served back when we first opened, it's like the complete opposite of what we used to have. So it was more so of an Americanized Mexican restaurant. You know, you had New York steak, you had jambalaya, right? You had dishes that you know were like what, you know, kind of not really your average Mexican type of menu, but it was what my dad knew. And you know, now I guess in the beginning, like nobody really was like business as me, you know, nobody really had that business experience, but only my dad and my uncle had restaurant experience.
Yeah.
As far as working for somebody at a restaurant, right? But never running their own thing. So I guess that was like a big like whoa, you know, to everybody that when they first opened, like, oh, okay, this is different, you know. Yeah, I don't gotta, you know, you don't gotta punch in, you know, I don't gotta clock in, you know, you don't do that anymore, you know. And you know, now you're the shot caller, you know. You go from being under somebody to being like, hey man, what's going on? You got a problem? You gotta figure out the problem, you know. Nobody is gonna come solve that for you. So I think we learned that with the menu too. You know, with the food, if we're talking about the food, it's like we didn't really like it. You know, we didn't really like it. It was just like the things that we had, we didn't like it. So once that was really my dad at the beginning, but because my brother originally he started off, and this is funny because I give him his credit all the time, but he's really like a marketing genius without even knowing that he's a marketing genius because nothing in that menu was good. I'll be honest, nothing in that menu was good, and we can say it. But this guy, he was in charge of the drinks, so he's like, I'm gonna come out with a piña loca, right? He calls it a piña loca. And my dad is laughing at him like, okay, bro, whatever. Like, you know, yeah. But that's really what was bringing people in. Because he was getting like there was like a piña colada in there. Yeah. You know, he's taking, like, it was a whole thing that we would do. And then later on we did a sangria. So that was kind of where he was like, okay, well, you know, at least we're going to have something good. You know, so that kind of was the that little star from the whole menu was that. Until slowly up to date, you know, we've been changing it. We've been working on our food, working on our craft till what it is now. But it was completely different for sure.
It was way different.
I feel like what's really impressive is that he said that his dad, well, your guys' dad had no experience, you know? And he was really, you were the one pushing him, but he was going like, oh, yes, no, and then you guys just went all in, and then look, the marketing genius coming up with names, even though he had no clue, you know?
Yeah,
he
for
was
sure.
a barber, and then even your dad being like, hey, not this, not that, maybe this. But I feel like the good part, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I feel like you learn as you're going, right? Like,
for sure.
Obviously, when it's like a baby, you know, like you're not gonna start running, you know?
Yeah, we say it all the time.
Crying,
It's like learning on the job. You know, you're learning on the job. That's pretty much what it is.
The more you're here, the more you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
So then, from now, like your current menu, what would you say is the most sold or the most crazy? I would say from my man over here.
Yeah,
the Jeezy shrimp tacos, bro.
The
Jeezy
so like
shrimp
tacos after you?
Yeah, the Jeezy shrimp tacos. Because that's really what people be like, oh, I fuck with the G. Every time we go somewhere, oh, I fuck with the Jeezy shrimp taco. I fuck with the Jeezy shrimp taco. Oh, I fucking love the Jeezy shrimp taco. So I can say the Jeezy shrimp tacos.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, and then right now, since we've been like on social media, surf and turf, man. We call ourselves the house of the surf and turf because we got everything surf and turf, like steak, shrimp, and the Chipotle combo. We do that with fries. We do that with a bowl. We have that with a taco, burrito, quesadilla. So a lot of people have been coming. Like that's what our menu is now, you know. So it's like the surf and turf, and then birria. You know, we can't leave out the birria because I feel like when it was a 2020 pandemic. We started, you have all the time in the world at that time, you know, to do whatever you desire. So we're thinking about what we can do to, keep the business alive because it was literally how it is now, empty, because nobody can come in. But we can still operate, but people have to be they can't come inside that door, right? So that's when we brought in the birria as a protein choice, and we started doing the quesadilla tacos. So that's really what helped us kind of just like, oh, okay, now we took a turn. I would say we took a big turn. We were kind of going over here with, what my dad has taught us and what he knew. Once we did the beat out, we went back, we took like a left turn, into the best direction, I feel like.
Yeah, because at the time, when the COVID shit was happening, people don't want to order fajitas. People want something quick like burritos, tacos. So that really changed our whole game plan on everything. Cause
like even something juicy.
Yeah, like something like you don't want a fajita. You don't want you want to eat a fajita. You want to eat it there. You want the sizzling shit. You know what I mean, type stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really what it was, bro. I'm telling you, like COVID really made us, bro. Because just imagine somebody from one day to another, somebody's like, "Well, you gotta shut shit down."
Yeah,
and you're like, oh man, we put all our employees off, and we're like, bro, we still gotta pay rent.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, damn, what are we gonna do, bro? We went from making into to making enough to pay to making $200 a day. I'm like, bro, and we still gotta pay $5,000 of rent. How we gonna make that happen, bro? So you know what I mean? I think that really what built us to become where we are right now.
And I like that part that you guys said that it made you guys, because for some I feel like it could even make or break,
Oh yeah.
I mean, the pandemic, I'm pretty sure it made people differently,
I feel like one thing about us, bro, is that when there's pressure, bro, we perform, bro. I feel like when there's pressure, we perform because, like I told you, I still remember that shit in my head when COVID. I was like literally like, damn, what are we gonna do? And then I remember we seen green light that you could sell to-go alcohol. And we're like, bro, we're moving micheladas, bro. Bro, we had like a cargo van. We're loading up the fucking van with like mixes, ice. And we're like, all right, bro, now we're delivering micheladas. So we were in the van in Seaside, delivering micheladas to people, bro. We're like, all right, bro. And we were getting a buzz, bro. People were like, oh shit. Hey, bro, give me like 4 over here, 5 over here. Like, it was like, damn, bro. So that's why I tell you, when we're under pressure, we perform.
It's the mentality,
And who that deal was that, let me guess?
Bro, everything, I'm not going to say it was both of us.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to do it without her, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I think about it. This is how we work. This is what I love about her. I think about something, and she'll help me perform that shit. Like, hey, bro, I have an idea, and then she'll, all right, bro, let's do it like this, do it like this. So it's like, it's a balance, bro. You know what I'm
So
saying?
she gave you that second, like this, or maybe,
Yes, that's
our mind thinks very different, so it's like the perfect balance, but it's more like, at that time, I feel like it has a lot to do with the mentality of it. I think the way like I said, we have the same upbringing. So we have the same mentality. My mom, she's the different breed type of woman. She's a go-getter, So we grew up in that household, and both my parents are hustlers. So when things get tough, instead of us being like, oh my God, like this is happening, we're like, okay, what's the solution? We're not gonna dwell on the problems. We're gonna get like, okay, this is our way out, or this is how we're gonna do it. So the pandemic, it's like, imagine an ice cream truck, it drives around like the whole city selling ice cream. We're driving around in a van, same van, but we're doing micheladas, right? And in social media, the power to the social media, that's how we're putting our stuff out there, because like, hey man, we're selling micheladas. So we're like pretty much like just promoting our stuff on there. People are DMing us, and with everything we do, like Instagram and all that, it's a big outlet for us, And that too, when the pandemic hit, we not only were selling micheladas, but then we started bottling up our micha mix and selling it to liquor stores. Because
And this was all during COVID.
COVID, yeah.
That shit, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's amazing, and that idea is so cool because, like, I mean, even if COVID wasn't hitting at that time, the
Yeah.
fact that you could bring that service to people, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
for example, people that get home from work, you know,
Mhm.
most of them drink a beer sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
like the least they want to do is probably get up and go get one, you know.
Yeah.
So to have that service, like, hey, I could drop you off, bring 5 then at this point.
Or even just this, man. Like again, I say social media is powerful because it's like the way we're doing it. You know, we're doing it in a little bottle with our sticker on our logo, right? But then we're topping it off with like cucumber garnishes, shrimp, right? We're doing that, and then it's like somebody's posting it. Somebody's posting and tagging us. So and it was just like that. It's like a wave. People see it, like, oh wait, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. So it's like the social media was the power that helped us do that, you know? Because people were just at home not doing nothing at that time. Like, oh well, they're doing this, so you know what I'm saying? It's easy for people to kind of like jump on that wave for you and give you that support. Once they see somebody else do it, oh, they're doing it, you know, and it's really all that town love.
So then, right now that you bring up the social media, did the social media start since the moment you guys began, or did this come until COVID, or when did the social media jump in?
I ain't gonna lie. I think social media started when COVID, because
No, actually, the thing about it, I don't know why, for whatever reason, we always use, like, even before social media is where it's at today, we always use social media. Because remember, we had drone, like, even if it wasn't doing what it was doing, we were still putting what we were doing out there. Whether it was food, we were doing catering stuff, so we were recording, put behind the scenes, and kind of just put our services out there. So we always knew that was the outlet that would, because as far as our caterings, that's really where we get our majority of our bookings. You know, we don't run ads, we don't, do no marketing other than social media, like posting what we do on there, and that really, it gets to people's eyes, and that's where we get our bookings, you know? So I feel like we did it a little bit before, maybe like 2018, like a couple years before the pandemic.
That's
and
true.
so when the pandemic hit, we were already doing that, so it was just like, oh, okay,
Even better than
exactly.
Because then, how you said, when people had nothing to do, then they had those videos to see from you. Guys, oh, let me order. Oh, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. Let me go ahead and order. Let me get that enchilada.
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
That's crazy. And were you guys ever, like, I'm not sure, like shy or like embarrassed to start posting?
Oh, bro, I'm still shy, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you give me, once I get comfortable, bro, it's over, bro.
Yeah.
Don't shut up.
And then I feel like the cool part is that no one will know that you're shy or nervous, you know? I mean, you're not.
No, it wasn't really that. He's not shy. He's lying. He's not shy. He is not a shy guy. He's just like, the thing was that we would have to do he just has a problem, like, we had a line to say or something like that. Because we would we would market our own thing. So it was like, okay, we would have to give him like cue cards, you know what I'm saying? And he would just stutter. That's just his problem. But it's not that he's shy. He's not shy in the camera. It's kind of hard when you got a camera, you got that pressure, like, oh shit, what the fuck am I gonna say, you know? But then it's like, at that point, it was just like, it's hard to say what you gotta say, but he is not shy, you know? I think he's like he's a natural to the camera, you know?
I feel like it's the remembering that line.
Exactly, yeah, that's what it is.
And you have to, and it's like sounding proper, bro. You cannot say, bro. I'm like, everything I say, bro, there's a fucking bad word.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's why you see our social media, you see beep, beep.
But I feel like that's what people love the most.
Yeah.
You know, you're being yourself.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
like, hey, you know.
Authentic, being on your authentic yourself.
And then before I forget, you guys brought up family. You said your mom was a go-getter, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what do you guys think? Your guys' mentality and like ambition comes from both your parents, or
For sure, 100%, man. I think we always say this, but we give my mom like the bigger flowers because my dad is a hustler himself. Don't get me wrong, but my mom is just like on a different level, you know. And then I think that's why we're also the way we are. Where whatever problem comes in front of us, we don't shy away from it because my mom is like, in my eyes, she's just like a superwoman, you know? There's not something that was able to like, put her down. She's like someone that attacks the problem, and that's kind of where we got it from. But my mom has like, both of my parents, have amazing work ethic. So growing up, my mom had her own little side hustle of cleaning houses. So she would bring us along with her being kids, like maybe 5, 6 years old. We're wiping down furniture, taking out trash bags, just going with her, Also, she didn't have a babysitter, but then she's also showing us how to work at such a young age. And, today, we got the result of that, working is not hard for us because we were taught about it. So my mom and both my parents, for sure, we got to give them the flowers. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree because we literally mirrored them. They work you know, growing up, we had I feel like a lot of people can relate, you know, your parents come from Mexico, they come here to give, you know, better future not only for them, but for us. So they work a lot. They work the majority of our childhood, you know. So there wasn't no like Disneyland trips or things like that. But, you know, they were able to, you know, build kind of something that we gave us an opportunity to do what we do now. And it's all
most importantly, a legacy, you know?
A legacy, yeah, for sure.
Here I go again, the most impressive part is how you said that your mom would have her own side hustle. So basically, it's a family of entrepreneurs that
for sure, yeah.
I mean, and even working on any job, you know, it's hard, but I feel like even starting your own business is even harder, you know? Yeah, because you have no, how do I say, you don't have, that salary is not guaranteed, you know?
Exactly.
Unless you go out there and make it happen, you know?
That's what it is.
That's amazing.
That's one thing. You're a boss, right? Oh shit, bro. It happened before. Like you talk to people like, bro, just call in sick. What you gotta do? You're the boss. You're the owner. I was like, bro, you don't understand, bro. Like you're the owner. That means you gotta go work because now you got people that you're responsible for, bro.
Yeah.
You got motherfuckers that you gotta make sure they get paid, bro. That are depending to feed their family because of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not us, but the business. And shit. So we gotta keep it running, bro. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. A lot of people thinking you're an owner, you're gonna work less. Nah, bro. You're an owner, you can make sure you're gonna put in more work, bro.
You are the business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are the business.
Everywhere you're gonna go.
Yeah.
And so now I want to bring up two important factors. So first, let's talk about the bad. Like, did you guys ever have a bad experience or a moment that made you guys feel like giving up, or like, why should we keep on doing this?
Yeah. I'm laughing because I know we're both gonna say the same thing.
Right off the bat,
we've been in this game for 11 years. And and I ain't gonna lie, every year I felt like throwing away, like, damn, I'm ready to give up. Every day, like mentally, bro, everything. I was like, bro, what the fuck am I doing, bro? Like, I'm ready to give up. But there's always something there, bro. I don't know if it's because we're not quitters. Yeah, that's what it is. We're not quitters. I was like, dude, I'm not ready there because I would feel like I would not feel okay if I just give up and I feel like I'm not, you know.
And knowing that you can always do more, you know.
I think that's where the mom mentality comes in. Find a solution quick instead of trying to give up.
Because that's one thing we seen growing up with my mom. My mom would never show people, when people doubted her, bro, that's when that would like fire up my mom. That's like, ain't nobody gonna see me, like, boom, she'll go even harder, and that's where we get it from. Like, when people doubt us, bro, we're like, all right, bro, boom.
Let me deliver
that, man. And, bro, there's a lot of shit, bro. Man, I can tell you 11 years, and whatever you could think, we went through it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything, you know what I mean? Like, we went through lawsuits and shit, everything, bro.
Yeah, that would probably be like
that's probably like the worst thing
I feel like, the lawsuit would probably be one of like the toughest like points in us being in business, because it's like you know, you can go around a lot of things, but I feel like a lawsuit is something that you can't, you know, just, you know, kind of shy away from. You got to deal with everything that comes with it, you know. So I think that going through that was one of like the biggest experience, like one of the hardest experiences we went through, but the biggest learning lesson, you know what I'm saying, in so many different aspects. But I feel like that has definitely been one of the, if not the toughest thing, but one of the toughest things we've gone through for sure.
It was one of the toughest things we went through, but like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, we learned so much shit about it, bro. Like, it was like, damn, bro, like, it's like, it was like, how can I explain?
But it goes back to the same thing we keep talking about. In that point, you know, a lawsuit can either make you or break you, right? But we never like allowed it to, like, you know, break us. Instead, we kind of flipped it, you know? We kind of used it to our advantage to get the experience that we didn't have, to learn what we didn't know, you know, get the knowledge that we didn't have, because we didn't go to business school. You know, we don't know certain things because we as far as high school education, that's all we got. You know, so it's like there was a lot of things that we didn't know, and it was like, okay, so that's why I say our mentality is the biggest thing. You know, the mentality that you have whenever it doesn't. I'm always the one that says it's like it doesn't matter the predicament that you get put in. You know, it's not that's not what's gonna define you. It's how you react to the predicament that you're in. You know, your reaction is always gonna say everything. You know, so that was our reaction. It's just like, man, we're not gonna let it beat us. You know, it's cool. You know, it was like, okay, we would say it is what it is, but we're gonna react, you know, we're gonna make sure that, you know, we come out on top of it. And not even just come on top, but learn. I get it, like, oh, okay, we went through this, but it actually benefited us. Because, you know, we came out knowing a lot that we didn't know. We did things wrong. As far as like business, you know, there was things that we were not doing right because we didn't know any better. You know, especially my dad, he opened a business. He worked in a restaurant. He's the only one that had a restaurant experience, but he did not know anything about how to run a restaurant. You know, we don't have that knowledge. So it was like, yeah, we use that to our advantage for sure.
It was basically the turning point to be like, oh, like how do I say it? Like if that moment didn't happen, you guys would have learned, oh, I'm not doing this correctly. You know, like I should switch it up.
I guess we knew we were doing
knew.
it.
I was like, bro, I only turn the paperwork, bro. I'm not the brightest out there, bro. Like, I'm a creator, but don't give me no paperwork, bro.
We knew, but then it was more so like, we knew we was not doing that right, but they showed us how to do it.
Yeah.
We learned because of that. They're like, oh, okay, that's how you're supposed to do it, you know?
Oh, like that's what we're doing right.
Yeah, that's what we're
never
doing
thought.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, not a lot of people will get that. Because a lot of people like to dwell on the problems, you know? They'll be like, oh, damn, like for me, you know, you don't want to ever put yourself in a victim mentality because that's never going to work out for you. So I feel like for us, it was always like, oh, okay, you know, like this is how we win.
It was a lawsuit over with a partner. You know what I mean? It wasn't no other crazy shit. It was just a partner. You know what I mean? That's why I advise everybody when you go in business, you know who you're gonna go in business with. You know what I mean? You always gotta make sure you know. You always gotta make sure you know who your business partner is. And it was like more fire because I was like, oh man, you want to see us go down? You ain't gonna see us go down. You're gonna see us go up from here. You know what I mean? That's always been the mentality. I told my sister, we're going up.
I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction.
Hell yeah, we're not gonna let you. Yeah, for sure. That was the fire on us.
Now, how about the good part? Like, what's been one of the best experiences, or what has been that moment that you guys feel like we're really doing it?
Well, the best experience about this whole thing is that I'm able to do it with my sister. To me, you know, I mean, it ain't I don't care about money. I don't care about nothing. The thing is that I'm able to create something with my sister. That we're both got the same vision and we're both fighting for the same shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're like, bro, that's my twin right here, bro. That's my twin. That's the best thing for me, bro.
That's like I think what makes it worth it. You know, I feel like that's what makes like all the tough days, every sacrifice that you're gonna make. That's the part that makes it worth it. And that's also why I feel like it helps not being like even thinking about quitting or throwing the towel because it's like I see him putting in the same work that I'm putting in. It's like, man, I'm not only giving up on myself, I'm giving up on him too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it gives you that extra push that when sometimes I don't have the motivation to do it for myself. Me not see my brother, you know, and his daughter, you know, and then I got my nieces here too. So it's like when you don't do it for yourself, you do it for your family. You know, they're like kind of your why. Yeah, they're your why. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one thing my dad always told us too. I remember him telling me, like, you know what? This is bigger than you guys. He's always told us, like, this is bigger than you. Like, I didn't really get what he said at that time, but now I see it. Like, it's bigger than because now it's not about us. Now we're giving opportunities to the next generation, our nieces, our nephews, you know, whatever's coming up next. We give them opportunity. You know what I mean? To get some money. You know, to get some money.
And I find that so cool because I'm a big quote guy, and I have seen a quote that says that when your motivation goes far beyond you, there won't be a day where you feel like giving up because you think out of the box, like I'm not giving up on myself, but also everyone that believes in me, you know?
Yeah.
So like now that you guys mentioned, like, I don't know, either quotes or, you know, they were written by someone so wise or it's just a hands-on experience that gives you that reality check that you need to know.
Yeah, for sure.
And how about that, like when or how was that moment when you guys were like, damn, like things are really working out?
That's what I'm saying. It's like the best and the worst thing that happened to us. I go back to the lawsuit because I feel like it was like, man, like we got through this. You know what I'm saying? We were meant to always be here. We were always meant to make it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the mentality that I had. Like it was just like that wow moment, and it was also like just the whole experience in general. It was just like it kind of gives you like, oh man, it makes you feel like God's favorite, you know? Because at that moment you know when you leave everything up to a judge, you know what I'm saying, and somebody else has to dictate the outcome of something, it's out of your hands. You got to do the best that you got, right? But I feel like one thing about us is that we have so much faith in what we're doing. And we have so much faith, you know, in God, and we're like, man, we're just walking in His hand, you know? And then it's like, when it worked out, you always had that feeling that it was going to work out because your faith is so strong. There's no even thinking like, nah, this thing is not going to go our way because that's how much faith you have to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when people say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm walking in faith? That's really us, you know what I'm saying? We're walking in faith. Like, we don't know what's going to, you know what I'm saying, what's going to happen next year, this and that, but we have so much faith, we just know it's all going to work out. So I feel like in that moment, it was just like a blessing in disguise.
See it as a lesson or a blessing, but not like as a mistake. It helped you guys in any way, and you guys just take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. It was like never meant to break you, but make you, you know? So that's how you take it, you know?
So, like, let's say for anyone wanting to make a business, you know, what advice would you guys give them?
Look, bro, if anybody wants to make a business, advice that I'm gonna give you, let me see. First of all, if you better be ready to miss parties, holidays, you know what I mean, stuff like that. You're gonna when you open a business, bro, it's a sacrifice, bro. You're sacrificing a lot of shit, man. And you really gotta believe in it, you know what I mean? You really gotta believe in it and put it in. There's no shortcuts to this shit, man. I'm gonna keep it straight up. There's no shortcuts. You gotta work hard and you gotta go hard, bro. There's no shortcuts. There's no like, oh, let me do this, I'm gonna get there. No, bro. The finish line, you're gonna get there on God's time, bro. You know what I mean? You just gotta have faith, bro, and just go hard, bro.
Literally, I mean, you could work a whole 24 hours, but that's not gonna make you go from A to Z, you know?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my advice to somebody who, would want to have their own business, I would say, I think all the cliche things that you hear, hard work, dedication, consistency, it's really all true. That's really what it takes, You don't have to have a certain type of talent, because they always say hard work beats talent every time. You don't have to be talented to do something. You just have to have that fire and that desire in you to do it, The first step is always doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, okay, being successful means you made it. No, doing it means like, okay, you already have the step to success. Because not everybody takes that step. People get, they have a lot of reasons why it could be doubt, it could be fear, that stops you. But if you're like that 1% that is willing to take the risk, you know what I'm saying? Just take it because you don't ever want to live. My advice is that you don't want to when you're older, be like, what if I would have opened that business? What if I would have took a chance on myself? Just take it, take the chance and do it. You don't have to learn everything. You don't have to know everything going into it because you can learn on the way. But it's just having that courage to take it. Just do it. If you truly desire to have your own business, do it. That's really my advice.
And straight up, you can't be scared to lose, bro. That's one thing, bro. Like, I really fuck what you said because that's true. I hate that my favorite, the thing that I hate the most is the what if.
Yeah.
If I have something in my head, I'm gonna do it, bro. Even if it don't hit, you don't even know how many things I've done that didn't hit. Okay,
Yeah.
I just move on to the next thing,
But you're happy because you
Yes,
did it.
I'm like, yeah. It would have been fucking with me in my head if I would have like, what if? I hate the what if. It's like, all right, if it hit. If it didn't, move on to the next.
Exactly, but it's like you gotta, I feel like we all know this, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you will never lose if you bet on yourself.
Exactly.
Because if things don't go, and not even just that, but you don't fail. Because you either succeed or you learn.
Yeah.
You learn why you didn't succeed, and you can do it again. You know what I'm saying?
But just the better
yeah, exactly. You got knowledge now. You got experience. Experience is everything. So it's like you will never lose if you bet on yourself because it's like, what better thing or same person to bet on than yourself? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing better than that.
And then how they say you don't have to be good to start, but you have to start
To be good. Yeah, exactly.
I received too much, and this even helps me,
For sure.
Who knows if I ever start a business, but I treat this like a business, I
It's
recently dropped marriage, so I see it like a business,
Yeah.
and even this to me is like I'm taking that advice,
Yeah.
I was smiling because I was just like, dang, this is, I don't know, sometimes I feel like you won't meet people that tell you these things,
Yeah.
because, correct me if I'm wrong, there's many people that will tell you, oh, it's hard, but then they'll be tell you things like this, like it's possible, you just have to, try your best,
Yeah. But I feel like, what isn't hard, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like anything that's worth it is hard. It takes hard work, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that's worthwhile takes time, so it's just like you can't be scared to put in the work. You can't be scared for it to be hard, you know what I'm saying? That's what believing in yourself and having faith is for, because you're like, and no matter how hard it is, you know what you're capable of. You know you at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you know you, man, you're not that doesn't intimidate you. The hard work don't intimidate you for sure.
because you know what you're capable of doing.
Exactly.
If let's say your parents are watching this, what would you two as siblings tell them?
I tell you. I tell you right now.
Damn. I would tell. I gotta say it in Spanish though.
Yeah, you can say it in Spanish.
Nah, but I would just say, thank you to them. I would say gracias, because I feel like the person that I am today, I wouldn't be who I am today without my parents. I feel like my parents are one of a kind, and I think as you get older, you look at your parents, you're like, wow, they kind of wow me because they came here from with nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? And still managed to, my dad just said it yesterday too, so I feel like he said everything that he dreamt of, like all his dreams, he accomplished it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I want to thank my parents for giving me that work ethic and that ambition that I use today for my own future. You know what I'm saying? Because they set the bar so high. So I want to thank them for setting the bar so high, because that only pushes me to, like, you know, sky's the limit. I have to, you know what I'm saying? If they came here with nothing, no opportunities, and I have all the opportunities in the world, you know, I'm from here, I speak the language, man, I got to do it up. You know what I'm saying?
We always say this, is like, it's so crazy for us. Imagine if we work from morning to night. My mom does too. Still that shit her whole life. Imagine coming home and be like, damn, I'm tired. I even scared to say I'm fucking tired around my mom, because I know my mom's getting it from 6 in the morning to night, bro. So I'm like, you know what? It's like, damn, it's just, that's why I say the same thing with me. Like, I just appreciate my parents for, like, us able to see how we grew up, seeing them hustle. That shows us, like, oh, this is what you gotta do, bro. To provide for family, you gotta learn how to hustle. You gotta hustle.
That's the way.
Hustle, bro.
Yeah.
So I appreciate them for everything. You know what I mean? All the, like, I know everything. You know what I mean?
But I feel like not only do your parents have a big role, but also you guys, you know? Because I'm pretty sure many people could, even with all that the parents have done for you guys, they could, you know, I'm not sure, you know, go into like the wrong paths, you know?
Yeah.
But you guys decided to like use that as fuel, you know? Like, I'm gonna use everything I've gone through and learned to keep going and pushing myself, because not only do I want the best for me, but my parents showed me what it is, you know? So I think props to you guys too, you know, because many could.
I appreciate that.
Sometimes people don't even
Well,
take that.
yeah, we were just talking about this not too long ago. I feel like, because I tell my brother, like, we wouldn't have this opportunity without my parents, 100%. But I know we're not the only people in this world that has had the same opportunity as we had, but we actually took the opportunity. We had taken the opportunity is, you know, we're opportunists, you know what I'm saying? Like, we take the opportunity and we turn the opportunity into, you know, whatever we wanted to. And for us, we want to, you know, sky's the limit, so we want to take it all the way there. So it's like, you know, that's also what makes you different from other people, is when you not only take the opportunity, but you take full advantage of it, you know, and actually do something with it, you know? Because a lot of people have great opportunities, but doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, just because you have the opportunity, you don't take it, then it was just an opportunity.
It would just stay as a thought.
Exactly.
And the best part is, you won't even know where you guys could end up, because you don't know, you know? But if you never start, then nothing ever happened, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And if, you know, before we ended off, you know, these shirts, you know,
Yeah.
made some merch coming up, you know, anything you guys want to say, or...
So hustle on our,
You know what I mean? Hustle
that's
our
what we're
blood.
talking
This
about,
is what we're talking about. Hustle
Yeah.
our blood, bro. Well, you explain to them, because you can explain.
Yeah, I feel like that's everything that we, you know, kind of just talked about, you know, our upbringing, you know, my parents, the impact that they did in our life. You know, we have that hustle in our blood. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was only right that was our first merch drop, because La Bahia, you know, we wanted to kind of not just put our logo on something and call it, hey, we got merch now. No, we wanted a message behind it. We wanted people to kind of connect with it and be like, I know a lot of people out here, you know, they got hustle on their blood too, because their parents is just like our parents. They came over here for a better future. So it's like, you got that hustle in your blood, you know what I'm saying? So now you got to kind of put that in effect and do something in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the video that we just filmed, you know? We went to film a lot of different entrepreneurs around our area, people that, you know, we know grew up with them, or we knew and see, and they kind of resonate with us. You know, we're entrepreneurs, you know, or self-employed, whatever the case may be, and they had that hustle in their blood. We kind of recorded them in their element. So that's really what this merch is about, you know what I'm saying? For
So
sure.
it's like something people can wear and they feel identified, you know, like, let's say they're walking down the street, hustle in the blood, you know, like, I don't know, like, this is who I am.
Exactly, man.
It's good. Like,
When are they gonna drop, or like?
We're dropping them next week, man. Hopefully next week, that's what we're aiming for. We're dropping all our, you know, videos that we've been promoting, and, you know, we got a couple of teasers that we got coming up this week. So, you know, next week, I think the merch is going live.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And I think you were gonna say something, right?
Yeah, because it's like something about us, like, we really want to tell that. Like, La Bahia, we're not just a restaurant. Like, La Bahia is also a brand. You can wear La Bahia, you can eat La Bahia, and you can also drink La Bahia, because we are dropping we got 2 beers coming out. We have the Don Chuy Mexican Lager. Don Chuy, that's my dad. So we made a beer in honoring my pops. So, and then we also have our...
I don't have it, but
Where's the
hazy
hazy
IPA. It went over there because
Bro. And we also have a hazy IPA dropping, you know what I mean? So we are dropping it's gonna get launched with our merch.
No, it's
So
good.
we're
It's
gonna
like that.
get back, so we're also gonna, like I said, La Bahia, you just don't eat it. You're gonna you can eat La Bahia, you can wear La Bahia, you can drink La Bahia. And hopefully one time smoke La Bahia too. You know?
Mine's not even
Right,
cut.
right.
And see, this is cool because my slogan for my podcast is "Conoces mi nombre, pero no mi historia," which is you know my name but not my story.
Awesome.
People see La Bahia, but they have no clue everything you guys went through, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously some people shouldn't, and they don't deserve to know what you
Yeah.
went through, you know? But it's like, it goes far beyond what you said. It's more than a brand. It's more than what you're eating. It's a family that came from nothing to something, and
Yeah.
you know, like no one sees all that, but you guys know when you guys create those, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And lastly, to end it off, you know, where can people find you guys?
So we're on like TikTok, Instagram, at labahiah_restaurant, and then our restaurant is located in Monterey. We're like a couple blocks from the Monterey Bay Aquarium. So whenever you guys are in town, you know we're in a beautiful city. I must say, you know, tourist city. Come visit us, man. 675 Lighthouse Avenue.
Monterey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure to include the app.
Yeah, the app,
Sure.
and you can find us on YouTube too at labahiahustle.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get everywhere, you know.
For sure.
So attack every place as possible. But
Yeah.
wanna
So
see
now
guys-
you can also get your gear and drink your beer, bro.
Straight up, bro.